Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Getting Dirty Off-Road channel. No, that's just raindrops falling off the roof there. Don't get worried. Got this little red auction item. It's a hot item. Now, in the last video, you saw we put the drive shaft back in it, and everything worked out okay. However, it did. But there was some noise before I put the drive line back in. It still comes and goes. So we've kind of looked into it, tried to figure it out. It feels like it's right about here. Can you see that? Right over here. So the way that it comes on and goes away, pretty sure it's a wheel bearing. I don't think it's a gear that's important. Otherwise, that driving it home and, well, you know what? My wife drove it, well, she drove it most of the way back to where we got it and home again. The noise comes on, the noise goes off. If it was a gear, I'm pretty sure it would have came out and let us know which gear it was. The way that it's doing it, and you turn and it does it, and you turn and it doesn't, and we think it's the wheel bearings. So anyways, took it to town, got some wheel bearings for the front. I went ahead and got both sides. Now there's an invoice in the glove box not too long ago. The previous owner was chasing this problem down. It was making noise. Well, those shops, I'm telling you, I don't trust you. Okay? That's my personal opinion. I do not trust mechanic shops, and I don't know why. I think if we're going to be truthful, it's because I did spend some time working at one, so I seen some things. I don't trust them. Now, I'm not taking away from you mechanical guys, especially you certified guys, because I'm nobody. I'm a nothing. So, you know, I'm not trying to talk bad on you individually, but I know how them shop times operate, and you gotta hurry up and kick it out the door, okay? So, person to person, you're doing your best. Some of you guys are doing better than others. Shop-wise, I don't trust them, I'm sorry. It's just how it's gonna be, it ain't never gonna change. Anyways, stop ranting, back to the paperwork. Chasing this noise. They did the wheel bearing on the right side. I have not looked at anything yet. Paperwork says they did. Still came back making noise. Me driving it personally, I feel like it's over here on this side. Maybe it was everything when they started and it got to a point where the owner decided he wasn't going to spend any more chasing it, but they did the wheel bearing over there, it says. Then it says they did the transfer case, which I suppose it's a transfer case. I don't know. I'm calling it a transfer box. It mounts to the transmission and it sends it down the shaft to the back. There's no select in or out. There's no transfer when I want it to transfer. It's always going. It says they changed that. I think it says they put a used one in. Came back still making noise. Pulled the rear shaft out. U-joint, the mid U-joint was crusty and nasty and pretty much powder according to the paperwork. Put a U-joint in. Still making noise. At this point in time, the customer had already put more money into this than what I got it for at the auction. So it says on the paperwork that the customer requested they leave the shaft out, and he took it. I put the shaft back in. We're chasing it down. It's like right here, okay? Now on this front wheel drive transmission, the transfer box running the shaft to the rear gear, it's simple, but it can get complex, okay? And the way that I'm saying it can get complex is we're chasing a bearing over here that's, let me show you. All right, so we're chasing this bearing. That's pretty hefty bearing. I mean, this is a Ford thing, okay? You go buy this hub bearing assembly for a Dodge or a Chevy, it's all one assembly. Ford, two separate. I actually had to press these bearings on. Didn't record that, did it over at a friend's shop. It's one of those, thanks for the help, but I should not probably run my camera there, okay? Okay. Anyways, just know, I had to press these bearings on. But anyway, back to my story. We're chasing this bearing out here on the wheel. Okay, at the wheel. Now the way that this transmission's working is it's essentially a front wheel drive transmission. The engine transmission sit in here sideways. So you've got your CV axles going into your front wheel drive transmission. Off from that, you've got whatever it takes to take off for a transfer box that's running down a shaft to a third member. Then you got two CV axles back there. Now the reason I'm chasing this front, particularly this side, is because that's where it feels like it is through the floor, the noise. But anyways, the point to my story is, if this bearing is bad, which I've not looked, I don't know. I just went and bought new stuff, you know, because just throw new parts at it until it finally fixes itself. But if this bearing's bad, it's giving us all of that noise, which right now it's just noise. I can't feel any, there's no feeling to it. It's just noise. I guess maybe a small vibration, but it's transferring all that noise from this bearing down that CV axle into the transmission, through the transfer box, almost even clear over to the other side. But for driving it, it feels like it's this half of the front, okay? So I do believe the wheel bearing's bad. We're gonna find out. Bought them anyways, you know. 235,000 miles, we might as well buy new parts. We're gonna see what happens here. Now, when we were out collecting these, it did start making the noise in town. So I grabbed the camera and I'll throw that in here. I don't know if we can hear the noise on the camera or not, but I tried to catch it. So let's cut to that. Okay, so we're just in town right now. Come to get some parts and such, but can you hear it? Now this is only at 30 miles an hour, so if it's still doing it on the highway back to the house, you'll definitely hear it. But it comes and goes. It's only every now and then. Well, I don't know, maybe it's more than now and then, but it comes and goes each time. Oh, and don't worry about the check engine light. That's just an O2 sensor. But yeah, anyways, there's a lot of miles on this guy, and I'm pretty sure it's a wheel bearing. Then it stops. Let's see if it comes up again. A little bit. Now we have noticed, depending on turning left or right, kind of sets it into motion. Sometimes makes it stop. That's why we're thinking a wheel bearing. I don't think it's a gear in the transmission or that transfer case box. I don't know if it's a transfer box. I don't know. The gear that goes to the rear end. We don't think it's any of the gears because we're pretty sure that it would have come out of the case and let us know that. We're thinking wheel bearing the way that it comes and goes. Tried to research a little bit. That's kind of all the information that we've been able to find as well, trying to figure this out. But you know, it's an auction car, so those things happen, and we kind of knew it with the high miles. Actually, I think the posting even said it needed four-wheel drive, needed work, which we thought was obvious because the driveline was in the back. If you haven't seen that video, it's out there. Check it out. But yeah, we'll find out if it's doing it on the highway. We'll catch it for you too. All right, now that we've listen to me babble on some more. I don't know, were we able to hear it? The rest of the way home, 70 miles an hour down the highway. Don't tell anybody because that's not quite legal. But anywho, couldn't get it to do it again. Didn't feel like driving around until it did it at a louder, I mean, it does get louder. Didn't feel like driving around until it did it. I know there's something going on. We're going to try this first. We'll go from there if we have to. But let's just get right into it. I mean, you're all sick of me talking. Let's do it. Also, we got to do it over here on the floor because Floyd's hogging all the lift. And now I probably, if I really wanted, could have. But you know what? I didn't want to. I'm already working on doing some things there. You'll see that. So we'll just work over here on the floor. Oh, yeah. That lift is nice too, by the way. Love it. So anyway, let's get into that. We'll start on this side and then we'll go to that side, but maybe we'll talk more about it on this side and speed it up for that side. I don't know. You guys just hang on. We're going to get it. Alrighty, so we'll start out, break the lug nuts loose, and then we'll jack her up. Looks like it's 3/4, 19 millimeter, you know, whatever. Watch your head on those mirrors. Where's my jack? Jeez, I get a lift and I lose my jack. Oh, it's over there behind all those tires. Huh. Where's my other jack? Here it is. Okay. Now, I know you can't see me over here, but I'm telling you, if I ever get organized around here, you should probably worry. I've either gotten sick, given up, or somebody else moved in because I'm never gonna get organized. What do we got down here? Oh, what do we got down here? Nothing. What do we got down here? Oh, maybe that'll work. Let's try it from the side. Now just remember, I think I've said it before. You're going in from the side here, make sure you get some meat under your jack. You want to make sure you get it picked up by that sub rail. I don't know what it's called. The hefty part. Oh yeah. Now if you get in the right spot, you can balance it and do both tires on the side, but don't tell anybody that I said that. Make sure you throw all your nuts and stuff out in the walkway so you can kick them underneath your other projects. Get the dogs to run through, you know, so they pack them off with them. You know, it takes 5, but if you got 2, you're fine. The cap kind of rattles, but I'm pretty sure that's not the noise. Shove this tire over here. That's the other thing with this car. It's got about $750 worth of tires on it too. That right now is April. They were purchased back in November, so I didn't go wrong with this car at all, you know. I didn't spend a lot, but I got a lot. I also got a snotty nose. Why does that always happen? Okay. Took care of that. All right. All right. All right. I'll get you guys looking down on me again. Maybe we can make some sense out of this. Is that metal? That's metal. Okay. So, the rotor actually looks really good. I'm going to press the pistons back into the caliper here. You know, the drill there. Oh, how's this one? It was close. Bye. Is it pistons or piston? Okay, it's a single. It's just a piston. I'm gonna have to be careful too because these pads look pretty good too. So we'll just catch them out here on the metal edges on the ends. Alrighty, that's looking pretty decent. Decent. Just a little tiny bit in the center. No need to be rough. We're back. We're good. That's fine. Okay. Let me see now. This clip out here on the front evidently is kind of a spring style type of a clip. So what we'll do is come in kind of behind it right there. Will we do that or will we do it down here? Or back here? Okay. Okay, come on now. Let's not get all grouchy about it. Okay, I think I see. So the center part here, it's got a couple little hooks that are hooked into a little groove inside of there. So let's go with some channies. Is anybody using the name Channel Lock Garage? I don't know. Might be a good name. Nah, probably not. Anyway, so we're gonna hook the bottom jaw, center of that spring hootis, top jaw up on the back of the caliper there. Can you guys see that? Are you watching? See how it's springing up out of the grooves? Doesn't take a whole lot, doesn't have to go very far. So squeeze that up. Is this pry bar too big? Probably. Bam! There you go. So squeeze it up and then pry in from behind it to pop it out of the holes. Glad the box was right there. That was handy. Anyways, we've got that out of there now. Now we're going to go on the back side of the caliper. At one point in time, there used to be little caps that cover the slide bolts, but you know, they're not there now. She's got a few miles on her. So we'll catch us an Allen wrench socket set up. Alrighty, what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Not that one for sure. Is it a 7? Oh, it is a 7mm Allen. I'll try to get these two slide bolts all the way out. Then we can re-grease them, and you know, your whole caliper system slides on these guys, so they need to be a little greasy so that it can slip on there pretty easily. Has a little bit on it, so that's good. One on the top, one on the bottom. That one came out pretty good too. A little bit of grease on it, so that's good that they haven't been dried and crusted for 235,000 miles. And then our caliper just slips off from there. Yeah, really, it has pretty dang good brake pads. So that's a good sign. You know, like I said, with that paperwork that I saw in there, it looks like the previous owner was trying to keep up on it and he just got frustrated, I think. And it's my assumption. Got frustrated and he just let it go. Me, I love the junk. Got 2 kids that are hammering on the junk all the time too, so it'll be just fine for us for a little while. I'm gonna take this here zip tie. If I can magically thread it together one-handed. I'm just gonna go around the coil spring up there and through that hole that spring clip was in. We'll just zip it up there so that it's not hanging by the brake line, and it'll be backing out of our way now. So now our next step, we need to take this bracket off that holds our caliper into position. So that's on the back side, a couple bolts. I don't know. 17s? Probably not. Am I right? Never. I knew it was an 18. I told you guys. Ah! Make sure that you hang that caliper right there where you're going to smack it with your wrist while you're busting these loose. It's the best place for it. One on the top, one on the bottom. Ah, yeah! Alrighty, that's out of there. We'll throw it to the side. It's even got a little anti-seize, so that's going to get everywhere. All right. Now we are at a point where we need to get this rotor off, but I would say she's not got 235,000 miles, but she's definitely got some miles, so it's stuck around that center of the hub. So we'll probably have to give her some whack, and there's a beater. So what we did there is just shock it a little bit and break all of the crusties free. And that's it. That's off now. It's had a little bit of heat in it, but overall it's not too terrible, I don't think. I don't have any wobblies or anything in the steering while we're braking, so it's pretty good right now. Now I need to find out if I have a soul kit. I know what it is. It's not that one though. What's this one? Maybe it's that? Nope, not that. It's that one. It's that guy right there. 1.25 inches. I don't know what that translates. Ooh. So with the other 3 tires still on the ground, I'm able to actually hold the car and turn this nut off from the end of the axle, which is pretty handy. We don't have to wedge anything in there now. Sorry, gosh. Stand a little closer and I'll hit you some more. But anyways, I don't have to worry about beating up these threads, even though I went ahead and got a new hub assembly as well. If you're trying to save these threads, you don't want to be wedging a bar in here and smashing the threads trying to get this nut loose. So the other 3 tires on the ground have helped. Okay, so we're going to bring it out here just a little bit. Okay, we're out pretty much the end of the axle there. Before we come out anymore, I'm going to go ahead and whack it. The reason that we're doing that is to make sure that the axle splines aren't stuck inside of the hub, so that we can actually get the hub off from it and not have an issue there. Come out a couple more threads. Now I thought about just doing the bearings using the same hubs, but it's not all that much to just go ahead and replace the hubs right along with it. So you can. The other reason I went ahead with the hubs is because the Friendly Napa store had the hub bearing kits, but they did not have just the bearings. So that's why we're doing this primarily. Okay, now I'm just going to go tappy. Don't want to get too tap happy with it. But I think it's free from there, so. And the crazy thing is, if this bearing is bad, I still can't find any play in it. Now, that doesn't always mean that it's still good. This style of bearing, you know, the inside of it, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but we're going to take it off anyhow. Okay, now, one thing that my research is telling me is this wheel speed sensor right here should be taken off. I don't know. You might be able to, but I guess if you're jamming on her out here and doing what you got to do, you might hit the end of it. So we're going to go ahead and take it off just to be careful. There's a 5/16 that seems to fit it. I think good enough to get it out of there. Let's take this little bolt out of it. Alrighty, so that's out now. Looks like I'm able to just kind of wiggle it back and forth a little bit gently, and it's coming out of there. I kind of got hung up a little bit there now, so maybe a screwdriver or a pry bar that's entirely too big. We can kind of help jiggle it up. Okay, right at the end of it, it's got a couple of funny looking ears, which makes it really tight coming up out of there. So it's got kind of a ear and an ear. And, you know, you just got to be gentle but aggressive. And it's out of there. Alrighty, I've brought you down here now because we need to separate this lower ball joint from this housing here. So we need to take this bolt right here out. Okay, and this side of it should be 15 millimeter. So I will see if I can get this nut off without holding the other side, but not holding my breath. Actually, it did. So let's take that back in where it's flush on the bolt. And then we're going to give it some smashers. Okay. So now we've driven the bolt back. Okay, we're out, I don't know, halfway. We'll just tap it. Okay. Oh, now we're turning the whole thing, so that's good. And also now I have to hold it. The bolt head side is 13. So I just got a wrench back here. You can probably do a socket on both sides, you know, if you're having a hard time with it spinning before you get the bolt loosened up. But I was able to do it with a wrench, so there's that. Now that I looked in the right drawer, got a punch. I don't really like that one though, so maybe this one is better. We'll just hold a punch on the end of that bolt so that we don't damage the threads. And we'll just tap her on out of there. So now we need to pop this ball joint loose. I'm just going to smack the edge of this with a hammer and see if I can get it to pop. It does not really want to. And we don't want to get too western on this lower control arm here. We don't want to bend on it. So there is a kind of a split on the back side here. Oh, yeah, there we go. So I just got my pry bar in that. Let's get you over here for a second. So you can see that's got a split in there. Just got my pry bar in there so that I could kind of take the pressure off from that ball joint. And it's already popped just a little bit. So it's still hanging in there, but we're gonna get somewhere here pretty quick. So we're gonna start out with a little bit of lube here. That's some good stuff. I need to get on back over to that supply warehouse. We do have a pretty good place here in town that carries this stuff, but if you feel like sending me a can of this, please do. I think it's loose. I think it's just the way it's hanging. So let's grab my favorite tool. Okay, so it's still catching on the top of it. She is stuck. Okay, so it's just catching right at the top. And that's because it's so crusty. It's probably not as bad as it could be, but it's crusty. So, just work at it. Now, I had a pickle fork, but I broke the handle off. But I don't remember where I threw the head of it. So this might get interesting. Maybe I wedge into this slot with a little bit. Come on now. Wrong angles, I guess. I was thinking maybe wedge and pry. Nope, it's still catching on the end of it. Oh, actually just bumped a little bit there. Oh, just a little bit more. You guys probably can't see nothing with me in the way, can you? Ah, almost. You're just so close. Ouch, that was my pinky I smacked y'all with. Cheers. Maybe you should, yeah, let's move back there just a little bit, eh? We're getting there. She's going down in through the hole now, so a little bit of pressure on this pry bar and some wacky taps on the end of this lower control unit. That might be getting extended to our fullest over there, but we're about halfway down through the hole now. Come on now. Oh, baby. That's what I like. Looks a little muddy, so we'll have to hand wash that up a bit, I think. One little tear in the boot, but I think we'll kind of judge it overall here in a minute. So we've got that out of the way. Now we're going to go right here. This tie rod end. We're going to take that off so that we can pop it up. You think this socket will do it? Nope. This wrench was right here though. 18 millimeters. And with this wrench we can see if it tries to turn on us or not. This old tie rod end joint. But you guys probably still can't see nothing. Is that better? Now, another good thing about those Chevys and Dodges, and maybe I'm just complaining unnecessarily, and it's possible that it's just this mid-size SUV type of car, but anyways, those other ones, you just unbolt the backside of them and beat them out of there and you're done. Why do I need to take the ball joints, the tie rod end, oh, you know what, also the strut, so that's going to mess up the front end alignment, I'm sure. Why you got to take all that apart? Which I can tell this side was not done. Still haven't looked at the other side, but I know this one ain't been done. Okay, we're down there flush. So you know we're about to smash it. Oh, that one was easy. That's nice. Oh yeah, now it's gonna turn. Dang it. Now I knew I should have just went all the way off with it. What was I thinking? Now what do you want me to do about it? Guess I'm gonna have to be super gentle. There's no such thing in that. Wow. Okay, so maybe take the nut all the way off first. Oh, almost. Oh, almost. Gosh dang it. Well, shoot. Oh, I gotta get me a stool. It's getting hard on me down there. Alrighty. Don't tell anybody, but I'm going with the Chrome Husky. It's not happy. Really? I guess take your nut all the way off before you smash it up. Well, you can see how this is going to turn out now. As you can tell, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm gonna do it anyway. There we go. Just a little channy action and squeeze it together real tight. And then the old smasher. Okay, now that's out of the way. Let me go ahead and spray these up just a little bit. Alrighty, it's the next day. I know, I can't just start and finish something. Anyhow, the dinner bell rang, so I answered. And then I did a little more research while having the dinner. And discovered I need some more press action. So I actually kind of messed up by pressing those bearings on the hub before I came back out here and worked on it. Should have done the hub portion last, and I'll show you when we get to that point. But anyways, I now have one of those hand pumper presses laying on the floor over there I need to put together. Let's go ahead and finish getting this taken apart too. You know, 4 or 5 different things all at once. Anyways, looks like that's an 18 on the millimeters. Ooh, and it's gonna turn. That's handy. Let's see. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and stop living dangerously over there and get ourselves the breaker bar action going on. Now I know I brought that socket over here, but where'd it go, you guys? Oh yeah, that's right. That's right, we put it on the end of this thing. Might as well just go full electric. Need a wrench on the backside on the bolt head. There we go. Now we're in business. Super. Nice thing about this little car is it's not super rusted up, so I have not run into something that's a huge problem getting to release. Alrighty, now we can get this top bolt out of there. We can just give her some nice easy taps so we don't ruin the threads there. Okay. Now I'm gonna just go ahead and stay electric on it. Spin her on out of there. Well, maybe. Use my little puncher. Yeah, there we go. Didn't even need to turn it once you get past this. Just push it out with a little punch or screwdriver. And that one's out of the way. Now, you got the bottom bolt, you just same as the top. Okay. Had to hold that one as well with a wrench. That's okay. Yeah, it is pretty nice. This one's coming apart pretty easily. It's not too awfully rusted. So I'm not sure where this car lived. You know, when we looked at it on the auction, it gave us a list of everywhere it's been, but I can't remember. But seems like probably Utah. But it is kind of surprising even for Utah that it's not super crusty. And same thing, just slide this bolt out. But remember, the only thing besides this bolt that's holding this knuckle piece is the axle that's just sitting through it. So you kind of probably need to grab onto it somewhere and give it a wiggle to get your bolt out. And then make sure that it doesn't go crazy on you. Okay, so that's out. Now it did kind of, I don't know if you saw it, but it did kind of slide up about, so the bottom hole is pretty much between these two holes. But that's okay. It's just something that we'll have to shove down on when we put it back together. But also keep in mind our ball joint is popped out as well. And now that we've got that bolt out, we're pretty much just the axle holding on to us now. So, well, I guess I am still just a little bit on the end of that ball joint. Oh, there it goes. So now we needs to make sure that we don't damage this toner ring thingy-majigger here where the speed sensor goes. And of course right now I got it sitting right on that ball joint hootis, but we don't really want to damage on that. So try to hold it up and just tap on the end of this axle shaft. We don't want to damage those threads either. Okay, now because we gave it some good smashes with the nut still on there, we were able to just tap her right out of the splines on the axle here, and then we're able to get our knuckle system off from there. Now, just giving her the spins, you know, which is nowhere near up to speed, but just giving it the spins right here on my knee, it does sound like it's dry. Still nothing at all obvious that it's bad. But honestly, I don't really know if you would know, unless you actually seen it's come apart. But for the noise that we're getting, I'm gonna say it's dried out and gone bad, or going bad. We're trying to stop it from all the way bad. So we'll go ahead and get that changed. Oh wait, I've got to put a press together first. Okay, and magically now there's a press. You might recognize it. It's the old cheap Harbor Freight, and it was on sale. So my wifey ran and got it this morning. I didn't even know she was gonna go, but surely appreciate her for that. But anywho's, we've got to press this here bearing back here. We've got to press it out, and it's pressed onto the hub as well. It's Ford things. I don't know, but let's take a listen. Okay, this is our driver's side. Okay, so we could hear that, right? Never mind my janky old setup here. I don't have a whole lot of options right now, so I'm just hopeful that this is going to work. Now, in the meantime, I was doing that time-lapse, everybody watch me work fast action on the other side, which you'll see after we complete this side step by step. We'll just zip through the other side. But I pulled this bearing, this knuckle, this hub. Now supposedly this was replaced, and it actually looks like it probably was. All right, now listen to it. Doesn't sound that good to me. Now, according to this paperwork here, which came with the vehicle, this was printed, says work completed 3/1 of 22. Right now is 4/20, I think. So a month old on this bearing apparently, and I don't think it sounds that good. Anyways, I bought 2 of them yesterday, so they had them at the store, or I probably wouldn't have, to be honest. But we are trying to figure this out, so I would imagine the kid's probably gonna take it and see if it'll make it home. So let's see if my janky old setup here is gonna work. I don't even really have anything here, so I'm kind of hoping that that'll get in there, or I might have to figure something out. But Let's try. Nice thing about this hand pumper is we can take it easy in there if it's looking funky on us. This knuckle is such an odd thing. The way this pressed in there is odd too to me. But I'm trying to find a balance that I can work with here. Once I figure it out, I'll refer back to the video for the watch me work fast portion of this television show. I had to find some sort of blocks to get it up on because the center of the hub is bigger than the space between the rails there. So it's kind of a balancing act, and hopefully it'll work out for us. Oh, where are we touching? Oh, must be touching the bearing somewhere. Just gonna try to center that up as best as I can. It's probably gonna blow the center of it out. We'll see. Can already see it's not gonna work out very good. I don't know. Just gotta be easy with this stuff. It can get you. Like it's trying to over there, it looks like. Man, oh, maybe it's caught now. Oh, it moved, it sounded like. Now, I kind of messed up yesterday pressing my bearings before I came home and finished looking at what I was looking at. I'll show you guys how I mean. As soon as this pops. Easy now. Crack in the wood somewheres. Come on now. Come on now. See, in this driver's side, I can't be for sure if it's ever been replaced. If it has, it's probably been a while. Look, just putting the eye on it, judging it. It's kind of giving me the heebies though. There. So you see I'm putting the pressure on it, and then I'm waiting a minute, listening, and it actually just gave us a little pop, all that pressure that was against it. Just trying to ease it out of there. Come on now. Give us a little what for now. You know, on this odd shaped knuckle piece, and the way that you have to press on these is, I would recommend getting the new hub and bearing, because you're pretty much gonna fight it doing just the bearing. I'm not saying that you can't. I'm just saying sometimes it's easier to make it easier. Well, I thought after that one pop it would go, but it actually moved a little bit there. Oh, a little more. Maybe we're getting her. Yeah, now it's starting to come apart. The downfall here, according to my researching, the downfall here is no matter what, you're going to shove the center of that bearing out of the outer portion of it, which we're going to see why here in a minute. Boom! So I really hope you saw. I don't know from your angle if you did, but when it finally popped through, its separation on this roller bearing that was inside, and there's still pretty good grease in there. Maybe I'm just wasting my time here. But let me flip this over and show you why. It looks to me like they're all going to do this every time. And I'll show you why. And also how I messed up getting in a hurry doing that, swinging by my buddy's place, when I should have came home and finished what I was doing first. And that's it right there. Snap ring inside this groove on this knuckle piece here. Now, by pressing the new bearing on the hub, I'm not going to be able to get the snap ring back in there. But I think that's probably going to be okay, because you've got your axle that comes through and an axle nut, and as long as you're torqued down good on that nut, everything's held together solid. So this snap ring here, I'm sure, is precautionary if something's happening. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it on my new one. So get that guy out of there. And then when you're done, you're left with one half of it still in your knuckle that we've got to get out of there. And the inner half of it is still on your hub piece. So now you're going to fight with getting those, especially if you're trying to reuse the same hub, you're going to fight with getting that off from there. It can be done. I'm not saying it can't. I'm just saying it might be easier to just do the new hub and bearing as one unit. I don't see any real damage, you know, other than what we've just done with this pressing. But I don't really see any damage in there that would be getting crazy on noise levels. But, you know, they're sealed, and at 70 miles an hour, this thing is really a winging, so maybe. Now, I'm going to have to find something that fits over top of that in order to get it pressed out of there. So this should be interesting. What do I have? Do I have this? Probably not. Got this big ol' axle nut socket from the Dodge project. It kind of fits. That's what I got. I don't know how it's gonna work. We're gonna find out. Why do I make bad choices? Oh, it just moved. I think it did. Something is. Maybe I'm just caving the center in. I'm kind of skittish to look over it. I mean, you want to be cautious when you're using things like this, but it does look like it's moving down, so I think we're going to get it. Keep an eye on our funny shapes on that knuckle that we're not getting jammed up, which we're clear right now. It's looking okay. I think we might be able to get it to pop all the way out of there without hitting. Oh yeah, she's coming out. Getting a little bit easier on the pump. You can kind of feel it through the handle when you've got some pressure on there. And that's when you just kind of want to stop and give it a few seconds. Let all that pressure do its job. Almost there. Oh yeah, she's going easy now. Keep watching all of our pieces sticking out everywhere, and we cleared everything, and there she went. So now I've officially gotten 2 uses out of this big ol' 1 11/16. And this is what came out. So there's another set of rollers back there too. Like I said, I didn't see any significant damage here, but it could be dry enough that it is making a noise. We probably could have made her another 235,000 miles possibly, but we're here, we're doing it. Might need to tighten these eye bolts up just a little bit to get all the way back up there, but I'm doing fine. Okay, so now, I don't know if you can see it, but there's kind of a lip right here on the back side. That's where your bearing is going to press into. Then this snap ring on the outside is supposed to go in there, and well, you're supposed to press the bearing first, put the snap ring there, and then press the hub. But I got excited and I pressed the bearing onto the hub, and I just don't think there's room to make the snap ring. So I think what I might do now is a little bit of cleaner in here just to take some of this rough stuff up. In fact, I think I might solvent tank just a little. I don't want to do the whole thing, but just this little center part. Still with me? Okay. So I hit the solvent tank with my Scotch-Brite in here. I just kept it up on the grate. I didn't need to soak the whole thing, but hit the Scotch-Brite pad inside of here with some solvent on it. And then I hit it with the old hand wash so that I could get that solvent back out of there. We don't want solvent getting in our bearing, but for me, it was the best way to get that all scuffed off from there and smoothed out and ready to roll. So that's what we'll do now, is get it in. If I can figure out how to get it on here. It's not real handy. We're definitely going to have to move down. This is really kind of cramping my style. Maybe I can just throw these blocks away now. Okay, I'm trying to figure out something here, since I've already pressed to the hub and I don't want to push the center out of it. Even though we've cleaned up really good here, there's a chance it could push the center out, just like we did this old one coming out. And well, I can't afford to be doing that. So need to find something solid to go under it somehow. Might be something like that. That's something that my brother made, but it's solid. Maybe like that. And then we've got what we've already done by getting all excited and in a hurry. So what you're supposed to do is press your bearing into here and then put the new snap ring in the groove here and then press your hub in. Well, we're doing things the lazy way that becomes a complicated way. That's, you know, it's just what I do. So I've got that solid in the center there, and then you know, according to my research, it's kind of a good idea to use your old bearing so that the outside edge matches up with the outside edge. Then you're pushing on the outside edge to get it pressed back in, okay? Well, I got stuff in the way. Now, oh, no, that's not gonna be good there. We'll figure it out here in a minute, okay? So let's ease into pressing this in there and see, maybe with any kind of luck, I can get away with it. So y'all pray for me. What's going on? Oh, got this other plate's in the way. So what's part of what's going on, huh? See if we can balance. Plus with this 2-inch square, I'm actually able to go right across that knuckle there. Then I can hang all my funny parts over the edges. And maybe I can do this so as that it's going in there square. You know what I mean? Now it's got me thinking a little bit more. Should I throw that socket in there or go ahead and run this right down against the center? I think the socket gives me a little more bite all the way around it. Do I have the room for that? Probably not. I'm gonna say no. Well, ain't no use crying about it, I guess. Another 50 pumps and we're just about there. That is the only downfall to the hand pumpers, but like I said, we can control the hand pumper for what we're trying to do gently and easily. Just make sure we get centered up good. I think it's straight as my crooked neck says it's gonna be, I think. All right, now we're just gonna ease it in there. I think it'll find center, as long as you're not a long ways off from it. It feels like it's pushing evenly. Which is why we wanted it cleaned up really good, and I used that Scotch-Brite pad with a little bit of solvent on it. We could get all of those dirty spots that might hang up on this guy out of there. Oop. There, it just moved. Maybe it just centered now. I'm just kind of holding my fingers there on both sides of it. So that last one I did kind of center up on the back side more than the front, but I can feel it this way, taking my time. I can feel both fingers catching a little slide on the bearing, so seems to be going pretty easy. You know, looking at this space here on the back of the hub, I might be able to get that snap ring. We'll try it, but if not, I don't think I'm gonna freak out about it because I'll destroy the bearing trying to get it back off this hub. I just don't have the right stuff to do that. But also, like I said, your CV axle is gonna come up through this bearing, through the hub, and you got a nut on the end of it. And as long as that nut is torqued down good, this bearing's not gonna move. So that snap ring is just kind of a secondary safety system, I guess. But ultimately, if your axle nut comes off, you're gonna have issues whether or not that snap ring's in there. And you can see, I think you can see, she's going in there nice and easy. I'm not having to fight or put a lot of pressure on anything. So cleaning the house out before you move the new one in, it's just like a rental across town, you know. You want to clean up your place before you move in a new tenant. Okay, now we've come down past the edge here, so now we're just going to be easy, because we do need it set all the way against that ridge in the back, but we don't want to get there with the outer part of the bearing and end up pushing the center out. As a matter of fact, even though it's 582 pumps to get back down there, let's have a look just to see where we're at. And I'm gonna have to let my brother know how good that worked. Okay, so we can still see a little gap there. I don't know what, it's a gap, okay? We still have a gap. So we're gonna go a little bit more. Basically, I just wanted to look, you know, cure my curiosity as well as maybe yours, and we know we just got a skosh more to go. Can't believe I added another tool. Now I'm gonna have to find a bunch of crap to go with it so I can use it once a year. Should have brought my seat over. All right, centered up again. Take it easy. Okay. So right there I can feel the pressure. I'm gonna say that is it. We don't want to push the center out. But I could feel it pressure up once I got to that ridge in the back there. So flip her over, sure enough, you can see we're down there tight. Now, come on. Shh, shh, turn down the music. I don't know. That's brand new right now. Okay. Supposedly, and it almost does look like it probably was done a month ago, but here's a month ago. All right, so this is passenger side. Paperwork says it was done. It looks like it might have been. It also turns pretty tough to turn, honestly, okay? This one right here, she actually spins pretty good. I don't know, you guys. I mean, I can say a lot of things about a lot of things because of a lot of things, but I told you at the start of this video, I'm not very trusting in repair shops. And it's not necessarily the guy doing the work, it's a lot of times it's just the work, okay? Now, I don't think, but let's check that snap ring. Yeah, this ain't gonna work at all because I can't, all right? There's no way I can get this open enough to go around the hub. That's my mistake. Total rookie move, and 100% because I had no idea what I was doing with these. But I bought the hub and bearings, and my buddy was still over where he works, and well, they got one of these hand crank presses. It's a lot nicer. So I swung in there and I pressed them on there because I was all excited. We're gonna get this done, and well, made a mistake. Rather than tear up the new bearing, that axle nut's gonna hold it together. So don't worry. If you are worried, I have a feeling this car's going over to Colorado. My boy's gonna run it for a little while for his job. So if you're over there, northern Colorado, you might worry, but otherwise, don't worry about it. So now that that's in there all the way, it doesn't look like we pushed on the center at all, so I think we're good shape here. Let's get this sucker back on that car. All right, where is it? I know I got a dry Scotch-Brite pad here. Where'd it go? Oh, there's a little piece. Sorry I blew up like that. Gee whiz. All right. Before I come back in here with that hub assembly, I got you guys, I almost got you eye level with me, but you're still looking down, and I hope it's a good angle for you. So these Scotch-Brite pads, I think they're handy as can be. Nice thing too, just grab them, bam, tear you off whatever you want. It's fabulous. We're gonna do this ball joint down here. The less we fight getting it back together, the happier I will be. Uh-oh, where did I put? Really? I just came over here with it. I just had a little red towel, you guys. Which one of you took it? It was you. Where'd it go? Oh, sorry about that. I threw it in the drawer with that Scotch-Brite pad. Anyways, let's spray a little bit of this non-flammable. I don't know why, because there's still a little here. And this stuff, the red can's not as cool as the green. You know, we're color biased a little bit. So now it's gonna try to turn in here on you, but you just get some on there and then do what you can to scuff it up with your Scotch-Brite. We want to get all the rusty chunks. Anything that's gonna make it stick going back in, We want to get those off. And the nice thing about this ball joint is we got a groove right there. And that bolt on the backside lands in that groove. So, you know, it's going to be okay. It's not like a pressed in and screw on the top type. In fact, you can see right there, the rust trail right there. That's what we're looking to get rid of. That was obviously on the open portion. Well, do you think we're going to be able to land that? Jamming it in there, shoving it down and getting bolted back up? No. We just need to get it all cleaned up. So I'm just kind of holding it with my thumb there and work it. Turn it a little bit, work it some more. Gotta work it, work it. Man, I wish one of you guys would turn the radio on. Not the radio, there's too many depressing things on the radio. Plus, it's the same 3 songs all day. We don't want that. So somebody play something good. Oh, there's the rough spot right there. That's what we need to get right there. And this ball joint boot, she's a little torn. But, you know, I don't have ball joints in me right now. I do have a press, because you got to press these ones. But then you got to take it off from over there. And you got to take it off from over there. And then there's more to do. So don't tell the old lady that I didn't do it, okay? She don't need, it'll be fine. It's going to make it another, all the way until the kid blows it up. So, not right now is what I'm saying. Maybe later. Just like right now, it'd be a great time for new struts if you had some banging around. You know, these struts, I don't know if you know, but you hit them bumps funny and you get kind of a knocking noise in your body. It's kind of up high, you know. It's obvious when you're driving, but if you don't know, you probably don't know what it is. But you get some knocking noises, and this one does a little bit on both sides. So, you know, it could use some new struts, but that's another thing we don't need to add that to the process here, okay? Well, she's pulling in right now. I really hope she didn't add it to it. She talked about it earlier, but you know, fix one thing at a time. Or fix it all and then something else breaks. You know, that's how it goes. You gotta budget some stuff. How we looking? How are we looking? Need to get a little bit more on there, I think. All right, I'm sick of it. Looks pretty good, I think. It's fairly smooth. Still have a little bit of a ridge where it was in that open slot its whole life, but smoothed off pretty good. I think it'll come back up into that knuckle pretty easily. So I was just thinking while I was polishing, maybe we'll do a little something. Okay, got this grease gun over there that's collected all the dirt in the shop. Well, that's not true because there's a lot of dirt. Anyways, clean the end of this off here. Now, at some point in time, maybe if I looked in this toolbox. Yeah, well, I didn't see it. I tried. Anyhow, at some point in time I thought I had one of those needle for greasing things, but I don't know. Anyways, seeing as how this is open a little bit, let's just give it some. So, there's a little bit in there. We'll waller it around. Nothing else, we'll mix it up with the dirt and really get it to go bad sooner. Maybe. I don't know. Budget things, you know. It's gonna be a little while. But hey, we know that it's gonna go bad. And there's no grease in this gun, so that 2 shots that I got's all we got, I guess. Maybe it's just the way I'm holding my mouth. Nothing? Come on. Oh, there's another little tiny bit. Now, I would just do it on the greaser, but there isn't one, okay? So stop yelling at me. There's not a greaser, or I would have done that. Okay? Well, that one's empty, which is okay, because I don't like that grease gun anyways. I have to go to the skid steer for the other side, I guess. Get back in there. Well, geez. If I don't quit messing around, I'm going to talk myself right into doing ball joints, and I am not in the mood. So let's get that on there. Alrighty, so what we're going to do now is we need to hold this axle. We also need to start the ball joint in, but we also got to start the axle in. So how's it going to work the best? Start the axle in, turn down to smash her onto the U-joint, or U-joint, ball joint, jeepers. Come on now. This part getting a spline back up on the axle, sometimes that can get you. Come on, go home. Go to your home. Oh, boy, it started in there now. It's just a matter of finishing in there. Ooh. Come on. Come on, little fella. Okay. You just gotta go home. Did you not start in the right spline? It had to have. It had to have. Well, maybe we need to tap it. Why did I bring everything over here? It's not even over there. It's over here. Let's give her some of the half smash. Call it a tap. Boy, it does not want to agree to this new relationship. Maybe it wasn't splined up yet. It's supposed to be all the same splines and everything. Oh, there we go. So what I did is just push the axle in, and this little rolling chair is about to go flying out in the driveway. But I pushed the CV back against the transmission till it took all the slack out, and then I just bumped against that to get my splines to come out. So, sort of like that. We got some threads out now. So now, what we're gonna do is go buy a new rolling stool, I'm sure, because that one's broken again, and I'm tired of the wheel on it. But we're gonna go with our bolts here at the struts so we can push down on the ball joint, which actually just popped into place for us. Catch a bolt back into that strut tower, and I think this is the other one. So we got those back in there now. Okay, all right, okay. Got the nuts back on. Now I can't remember the danged old torque, so if you give me a half a second, I'll go look. Now I thought maybe this would mess up the alignment, but it seems like these holes they're set up and machined to where there isn't any adjustment here. So the alignment on this car, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it's all just in this tie rod from that rack and pinion steering. I don't do alignments, so I don't know. But I don't really see any other adjustments on here. Some of these have, you know, they got the dial thingies for the cambers and the casters and the, I don't know. Those are just names I heard somewhere, but you know, there's a lot of it right here, and I don't see that with this car. It looks like it's all pretty much machined to just bolt straight up. The alignment must be done back here with the tie rods. That's my story, so we're gonna go with it. Don't look now, but I am trying to fix this little creeper chair. Not entirely sure why. Maybe if I tighten it up properly, it'll work out. So let's try that. Come on, silly. You went over there for this one. Why'd you bring all this other stuff back? No, you keep messing around, you're gonna get thrown out in the lost and found. Well, I think it's done for. I think it's done for, guys. Maybe I can move this one. Oh, should we just do that? I feel like I'm spending entirely too much time with this project. Huh, I think it might be toast. And I know you guys don't care. Maybe I got a wheel up here on the top of it that'll work. It's got better threads, I know that. Oh, so much better. All right. Messed up wheel, threads are all, I don't know what they are, but trip over it over there later. Anyways, what was we doing? Okay, now back here on these here bolts, we're gonna start off with, let's just get them tightened up. Okay. Okay. Now we need the torques. And I just found out that these guys torque down to 85 foot-pounds. There's 85. Ooh. Yep, definitely gonna have to hold the bolt head with a wrench. Oh, I'm about to pop something. Oh yeah. There we go. Almost threw a blood vessel in my neck. Actually, I think it was the one in my forehead. All right, there it is. Got that little blood rush up in the brain. Righty. All righty. From there, let's stab this tie rod end. Get that guy back in there and going on. It's not started down here. You think I'm strong enough to just hold it and so it's tapered in there and tight? Doubt it. Yep, I already lost. So, what we can do, we can grab up one of my favorite tools here somehow. There's a hole in that lower control arm. Maybe that'll be enough to hold down against it to get it to thread up there. I'm gonna have to move that light. I'm sure my big skull is right in your guys' way. I can't see nothing. Let me try to lean back for you, okay? Oh yeah, that's not too bad at all. It's actually holding there. Now another thing you saw me do yesterday, I just gave it a whack with my hammer right there, which set it down in there enough I could get that nut the rest of the way off. So I suppose if you wanted to do it that way, maybe I should just give you another example. Okay. Give it the old smasher. Maybe that is your ticket. I don't know. What's your flavor? And then now we're up past the end of that stud. And it's actually got where you can put a socket on the end of that or another little wrench. I don't know what size, 8mm probably. But you could do it that way too to hold it. But you got to do something to get that nut. going first. Okay, yeah, so now it's turning. So, it is an 8mm, and it did just start turning on us. So I got this little wrench, maybe that's enough to hang on to it. Then that way we can get this nut tightened up there and actually get it pulled back down in that taper and locked back in like it should be. Oh, my head's in the way again, sorry. You could also use a ratchet on the bottom if you really wanted to, I guess, but just showing you what was right by me, real close like and easy to get to. Okay, so get it tight. And it even feels like it's stopped trying to turn the whole thing, so get it tight right there. Now this, well, I don't know if this socket will get up on there or not. Will it? Maybe. Probably not. This one is 59 foot-pounds. Not 60, it's 59. Let's see. No, I didn't think that was going to work. Do I have a deep one? I must. I must have a deep one somewhere. No? Probably not. You know, I might not, since it's an 18mm. Is this shorty deeper than that? Shorty? No? No? No, it's not. Do we really need to torque it? Or can we do good and tight? How many 17s do I need? Gee whiz. Well, we're just about ready to go good and tight. I can't believe if I ever had an 18 that was deep, I don't know where it would have ever been. So let's break the law just a little bit right here and see if we get caught. Oh dang, I think it's turning the whole thing. Maybe we are just gonna go good and tight. Yeah. It's gotta be turning the whole thing. Dang it. Dang it! Oh boy. She feels like she's getting tight already. All right, we got it. Good enough. Now what? Oh yeah, I know. We needs to, by the way, I got away with a 3/4 inch deep. It was a little loose. I just made sure I held it tight against the nut and we went with it. We just sand it. But now we needs, is it this one? So now we need to do this guy, which goes on the bottom there through the old ball joint. Oh hey, we even made the groove. Awesome. I did wait until the threads were coming out before I smashed it with the hammer, in case you were wondering. Now this is that old 15mm on the nut side and 13 on the bolt head. Okay. Now this nut on this bottom bolt for that guy torques at 46 foot-pounds. Now I just got to figure out which way I'm gonna be able to go here. Looks like maybe that way if I move the shop light, twist around in the ball. Alrighty, got it. A little awkward. It might be different up on the lift, you know, if a guy had one. Oh, Floyd's got one. I guess it's his. Okay, so there is that torqued. So now, let's throw that axle nut on there, which these bearing hub assembly kits come with a new one. So let's use it. Are we out enough it's going to catch? Ooh, maybe just barely. Maybe just barely. We'll have to ease into it. Why aren't you home yet? What's wrong with you? Stubborn teenagers, I guess. Anyways, remember this guy's that 1.25 inches. We'll just be real easy on it here to start. Maybe. Oh no, did I mess up the thread? How did I do that? I can't see ya. No, I did not. No, I didn't. We're not even getting one. Well, how's this old nut look? Is she flattened out more? Don't think so. Did I get some more with it? Doubt it. Maybe I did get some more with the old one. It's flattened just enough. Oh yeah, let's bring it in a little bit with this old nut. Again, just easy. Make sure it all goes smoothly. Yeah, I'm kind of sick of holding on to them studs, so let's just go ahead and just pry bar over there for a minute. Oh, that's the wrong side, silly. Now even with this, as long as we're gentle, we're on the back of those studs, we're not going to hurt anything. But since the other front tire's off the ground still, you know, it's not supposed to be technically the way this video is going to go, but it is. With it off the ground, these are able to free spin. So, got to wedge a bar in there. It's actually going pretty smooth. I think that's good enough. We can get the new nut on there, just because we should, shouldn't we? Maybe I'll use that on the press at some point. Probably not a good idea. Oh yeah, she's sitting back in there just fine. Now we could probably give it the old impactorial, but we wouldn't be able to feel it coming into the hub, and make sure that we keep going smoothly. I would rather do it this way until my axle is up tight against the bearing, because then I know it made it properly. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She's coming right in there. Ooh. Then you can kind of pretty much feel right when it stops, right when it's against the bearing. And all of these axle setups with the nut out on the end, they're all pretty much the same. They come right up against your bearing and then they get tight. Alrighty, now this one, she's got a big old number on her, so we're gonna take flimsy handle out, bring in the bigger gun, get that up in there, and it says 221 foot-pounds. Well, this one ain't gonna do it. It's only a 150. So, what's gonna happen right now is two things. First of all, I know this ain't gonna do 221 neither, but we're gonna hammer it with this. Oh, easy on the studs there, silly. I told you guys, be easy on them studs. Right? Okay. There's step one. Step two is this old breaker bar. She's been a good friend of mine. And I'm feeling like I'm 221 today, so we're going to throw all of me up on it. But if we're going to do that, you guys might have to get back a little bit. Okay, it's a very delicate balancing act. So apply my pressure so that I know I'm jammed against my pry bar before I go jumping. Gonna step on it. Now I think that's probably gonna do me with the good and tight, because it really wasn't all that terrible to get them off. So I know it wasn't crazy. Whoa! What did I tell you guys about tripping over everything? I'll do it. So anyways, I feel like that's a good 224 now. Get a torque wrench and check. Leave the torque wrench here when you're done. Oh, might be the other side causing that noise. Let's not get all freaked out. All right, can you see still? Come on. Come on back up here now. Now we're going to do this speed sensor. Just push that back in there. We got to kind of coerce it to begin with so that we can get the end of it through there. Get that guy back in there. Get our little bolt. Which, even though that 5/16 worked, it's actually a 8mm. Okay. I should probably get old. Oh, that'll work. This will work. Don't you worry. So I have a deep 8mm. Why don't I have an 18? I guess I'll put it on the list, eh? Okay, so that's back in there. We just put a little snug on it, you know, 1/4 inch, so you're not overdoing it. Okay, so from there, what do we got? We can put this rotor back on, I guess. That's not too bad a shape, really, so it'll be fine. Now, if you were doing new ones, you'd probably go ahead and clean both sides with some brake cleaner and get all the oily film off from shipping and storage, but we're not, so we'll just slam it on there. Now, one thing I think we might do is take a lug nut down here, spin it down there tight up against the rotor. And then that way, the rotor is pretty much, well, now it is, pretty much straight up, so we can get all of our brake stuff put back on. Which right now, we're going to go with this bracketry system. And it's not too bad, really. Some of these get rusted up pretty bad where your brakes don't want to work inside of there. So you may have to clean out your grooves where your pads go, but these guys are pretty good shape. So we'll just hang them back in there if we get them going the right direction here. Like I said, if we get them going in the right direction here, so the top goes down. Then just slam your bolts back in from the back side there. And where have I ground the other one into the concrete? Oh, there it is. There it is. Here it is. Okay, and these guys are that 18 millimeters again. Let's bring it down snug. Alrighty, these two bolts torque at 129. No wonder them things are always so hard to get out. 129, not 130 or 125. 129. At least I can push down on these ones. Jeez. Oh boy, I'm gonna have a freaking hernia over this. Is it necessary? Probably not. As long as they're good and tight. Oh boy. Running out of leverage. Would you use your boot on a torque wrench? I would. I'm just trying to show you guys what they say it should be. But you all know me. As long as it's good and tight, you're probably going to be fine. Unnecessary, I'm sure. Okie dokie. Now, and that little plate, whatever its purpose, decided to come off, so just bend these tabs a little bit. I mean, we could just throw it in the trash too, but bend the tabs a little bit. Maybe I went a little too much right there. But that'll get you clipped back on there like it should be. Pads look good, so we're just gonna rerun those. So you gotta put the outside one on first, and it's got these little ears that hook into these slots. So, pretty simple really. Hook them into the slots. Then we will cut our zip tie up here. Drop our caliper. Hopefully into your hand that you were expecting. And then bring it back down. Make sure your brake line is straight, which really shouldn't be any way for you to get it all twisted. But then the back pad just has an L-shaped hook that drops into that notch as you put your caliper back into place. Okay? Okay. Oh, nope, I didn't forget. I thought I forgot, but I didn't. Dum-de-dum-dum. Where's that? There it is. Is that it? Nope, that's not it. Where's that other one? Oh, it's back on the tool holder. I can't. Oh, nope, that's not the one. Where did I put it? Oh, it's still on the other side of the car. It shouldn't even be over there. Okay, now, these are the slide pins, and they're not in that bad a shape, really, but we do want to clean them. So we'll hose them down a little bit, eh? Okay, now we've got all that cleaned off. We need to put something on there so that they can slide back and forth and actually work. So I thought, well, we might as well use a little anti-seizer. Think that'll do it? No, but I do know. Just a little dab will do ya. And everything around you. So there you have it. Then we will just slide that in there and kind of wiggle our caliper around till we find the spot for it. Thread that guy back in there. I'm just doing it with the ratchet because it's easy. But I don't want to go tight yet. Just snug. Because we've got one more to put in there. Same process here. glad that can is about empty, because I really don't like that red stuff. I mean, it's better than nothing, but it's not good though. I don't know why. Maybe it's just that can. Anyways, it could be worse. Okay. That one actually looks pretty dang good too. There's no gouges or deep scratches or scuffs or burrs or anything silly. So they're going to slide just fine. As long as you got a little dab of something, grease, anti-seize, Vaseline, cooking oil, engine oil, I don't know. Probably want something that isn't going to collect all that road dirt, but sometimes you just can't avoid that. Like I said, just a little dab will do you, though. And there it is. There it is. Where'd you go? There you are. There it is. Okay. Those are snug. And you guessed it. There is a torque on them guys too. So, let me get my adaptation kit set up here. I'm really, I'm only running on one torque wrench around here, so it's got to be able to serve all my purposes the few times I use it. 18 foot-pounds is what we're going for on those slider bolts. 18. It's not a whole lot, really. I would have gone good and tied it probably a good 48. Just double check, just to double check, huh? All right. Seems about right, I guess. That's what they say. So now we can put this spring clip Hootis back on there. Now, the idea with this guy is it pretty much just springs down on the face of your caliper and holds it onto your bracket, essentially. It's basically just keeps it in line for everything you're gonna do. So what we're gonna do you need some more light? Who needs a light? Is that in the way? Probably. Oh man, now I can't see. Okay, never mind. It's just squint, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring this top ear, or we can do the bottom ear, and then we're gonna catch this in the first hole. Okay, now it's gonna have some spring tension on it, so we're gonna hold down above this next hole. We're gonna grab this ear, and we need two things to happen. We need the little hook to actually get into this hole, and we need this in to get over the edge of the bracket. Just like that. So just make sure that you're over the bracket, you're hooked into both holes. I guess if you needed to, you could use a little screwdriver, maybe a pair of pliers, but you don't want to pull too much on the spring, because then you'll take the spring out of the thing, and we don't want that. So it's all in there. Looks like it's all good. So now I guess all we've got left to do is we'll take this lug nut back off, and we'll bring the tire back. Now remember, we pushed fluid out of our calipers, so before we go taking off, we need to ease into that brake pedal. I can't do it yet because I've still got the other side off, But once it's all back together, I'm just going to gently pump on the pedal, about half strokes on the pedal until we're pumped back up tight against the rotors. And we'll just get some lug nuts back on it, eh? Now I'm going to cheat a little bit here, but we're going to take it easy though, and we're going to go in a star pattern to make sure that the wheel goes on evenly. So I like to start at the bottom. Make sure that we get the center of the wheel over the center of the hub. Just ease it onto there. You hear how I'm letting off as soon as the nut touches the wheel? I don't like to jam them on with an impact. Pull the threads off the studs. It turns into a mess sometimes. Now that I've done the star, I'll just quickly hit each one. See, that one was actually still out quite a ways because the wheel went over the hub. Okay, now the tire is able to turn. That noise is the axle over there. Don't worry about it. We're going to let the jack down. So now we're down on the floor. We're able to use it. And you're right. More torque specs. So these are a 19 millimeter, 3/4 will get you. And they're going to be 100 foot-pounds. And if I'm going to be honest with you, this is probably the first time I've ever torqued a lug nut. Same deal, we'll go in the star pattern. You should never crank them down so much with an impact that you don't turn some if you're actually going to torque. My problem is I use that old star. I'll do them with the impact like I just showed you, and then I'll use that star, and I guarantee you I over torque them every time. Just ask my kid. It's probably not a good idea. I really don't think they were this 100 foot-pounds tight when I took them off either. All right, one more time just to be sure. All right, none of them moved anymore, so we're gonna say it's good. This side is done. Alrighty, so now that you've seen me do the other side, which in the video will be complete at this point in time, however isn't at the moment, you know, that's trickery of the videology. I don't know what, you know what. Let's crank it up and jam through this side. Oh, and if you guys don't like that, crank it up, just let me know and we'll stop doing that. But, you know, just trying to fill my time and amuse somebody. I don't know who, but maybe just myself. Anyways, let's do that. If you don't like it, let me know. Alrighty, got those wheel bearings changed out. Everything's back together now. This passenger side, I gave you a little example of the noise. Pressed it out of there. It's hard to tell if something was wrong, just the way that they come apart, that snap ring in there. Every single time on this vehicle, you're going to blow the center out, take the snap ring off, push the outside out. Unless you do mine, because I didn't put snap rings on. We already covered that. Now, I was trying to look at it. Maybe that knuckle, maybe the bearing got cocked a little bit whenever it was pressed in. I don't know. I don't know why it was making such noise. I pressed my new one in there, gave her some spins, nice and smooth, just like this side. So, is what it is. Hopefully that takes care of all of the noisy, strange harmonics, come and go noises that was happening. Time will tell. Right now, apparently, I need to change the oil. Might as well throw it in here, so let's do that. Probably don't need that on there. Now, the exhaust pipe is not a good place to jack. How's about maybe just barely right there? Why can't you just have a frame? Guess we're probably going to go right there. Not a whole lot underneath the front of this. Okay. If you couldn't tell, the wind's blowing again. I know that's weird. Just once! Can we stop for just once? Alright, I'll get some safety stands and a drain pan and bring you down there with me. Okay. Biggest part of changing this oil is because, well, it's coming out and it's getting on my floor. And we need to correct that. So, we're gonna take a look here. But I think what's going on, honestly, is when I had it on the lift the other day, that's another video you'll see, I was looking around for an oil dripping, and this drain plug right here is pretty much the only thing that I can find. So I guess it probably needs a new washer underneath the head of it there. You know, whatever it is that seals it from dripping oil. Yeah, we probably need to get one of those. So I got my drain pan, and well, if you know me, you know it's already full. But I got it anyways. So we'll take this drain plug out, but you know, there's some evidence of weeping around the whole pan. Weeping not being dripping. The only drips that I could find was around this drain plug. So, you know, maybe in the future, if I really wanted, we could do an oil pan gasket. Not today. Let's see, I already know it's not that size. Nope. Well, maybe I do have what I need close by, though. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Nope. Nope. It's that one in between those two. You know, the 14, it never gets any credit. So every now and then we gotta throw something out there that's a 14. So first I'm gonna see, is it loose? Yeah, a little bit. Actually, probably a lot. Yeah. That was almost scary loose, honestly. Maybe that's its only problem. Makes me nervous in a couple of ways. One, why didn't you get it tight? But even more nervous, are the threads messed up? I hope not. And if I'm honest with you, I don't even see any sorts of seal. There should be some kind of a washer, crush washer, Teflon washer, clothes washer, you know, something. But I don't see one. So maybe it got lost and maybe that's why it's leaking. The oil actually doesn't look that bad, and if you believe the counter system in the computer, it still had a good 75% or something left on it, but that's alright. We'll waste it and dump some new in there, and then we actually know where we're at to begin with. But yeah, there should be some sort of washer on there that seals it, and I don't see one. Unless I'm behind the times, there should be one. Didn't see any kind of chunky or metal stuff, so that's good. But yeah, like I said, it's probably just done a month ago. I don't know. Okay, got to the bottom. I didn't find any sludge or anything weird. You know, I think this little car probably was maintained pretty decent, and you know, the bearing noise or whatever was going on, and just finally got frustrated, high miles, decided to dump it. We don't mind, we'll use it, but it did look good coming out of the pan, so I think while that's dripping and before we run into town and grab a new seal, whatever it takes on that plug, we'll go ahead and get that oil filter, which lives right up there. Now I can say somebody finally built an exhaust system that's not under the filter, so I'll thank Ford for that. We'll go ahead and get that out of there now. Now, it's not over top the exhaust. It is still on the side of the engine. So that means it's going to run down your armpit and you're not able to pre-charge a filter. Although this one does have an angle where I suppose you could probably get a little bit in it, but I don't know. Looks like it's got new nuts on that exhaust collector from that, well, I guess catalytic converter up there probably. So maybe that's been changed once. So I like to crack them loose. This one wasn't all that tight, so whoever did this last, which I'm sure was a lube shop, they did not believe in getting anything tight, which is okay because, you know, nothing was damaged. But you need to get tight enough it don't leak. I don't know. Why do I keep talking bad about other people's work? That is no way to live. I need to stop that. Don't act like me, be a good person. Looks like this was the STP Extended Life Vida Larga. Larga. It's made in China. That's good. Yeah, I mean, this was a fresh oil change, so it's too bad we're changing it already, but at least we're gonna know what shape and when it was done, and we'll get that plug to stop leaking with any kind of luck. Well, might as well spin this new one up in there. Now, Don't be telling Derek over at the Vice Grip Garage that I'm using these ones. I didn't go buy it. It was brought to me. But I actually, over the years, this is what I've used for everything. But I'm just daily driving, you know, so maybe it's okay. I have started switching over though, Derek, so I've been taking and learning. Anyways, get this up in there. Still got a little oil on that, the face there from taking the oil filter off. So that is what's gonna smear around the O-ring on this filter. And that'll help us seal it up, if I can get it started on there. Maybe I was given the wrong one, eh? Oh, nope, just gotta get it at the right angle. There we go. Okay, so I go down until it touches, and then I give it, I don't know, a couple of half turns. And then, you know, you're good. Which is probably why I fight every time I take one off. Since I'm right here and this hand wash was close, let's spray that down a little bit. And that'll be that. Now, I need to go to town and get something to seal that drain plug with, I guess. And I'm back from town. So, went in, I grabbed air filter, can of tune-up juice, and one of these. Probably can't even see that, can you? So, it's kind of a metal washer, but it's got a rubber center O-ring type of Hootis. So that should seal a whole lot better than nothing. So just get it on there, and they pulled out a box and we kind of went through it, but it actually gets where it is just snug over the threads. You can get it back against the head. Then it just kind of sticks over the edges a little bit, but that rubber center right there should seal up and stop dripping on my floor. And then we will just screw it back in there. Hopefully that resolves our dripping oil on the floor problem. I would imagine it makes quite a bit of difference having something on there to seal it. I'm gonna see. Ooh, you know what? The thread in there might just about be gone. Not sure. Oh, it might be getting tight now. We're gonna go easy though. I don't have another oil pan. I don't like it. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and stop right there because I can tell there ain't a whole lot of thread in there anymore. So hopefully, I mean, it's tight enough I can't turn it with my hand, so hopefully that rubber centered washer there is gonna do it. But I'm gonna have to remember on that a little bit if we're gonna keep her running. Might have to rethread, bigger plug or different pan. I don't know, it's kind of touchy, it's aluminum. So that's part of why she was leaking, I'd say. Alrighty, I think the rest of this oil change is pretty self-explanatory. We're going to keep an eye on that plug and hopefully we don't have issues there. But if this thing proves to you know, if it proves to just keep going for us, we might look into what to do with those threads or the whole oil pan. You know, it is seeping a little, oozing. I don't know. It's not running out of the pan gasket, but it could probably use one. We've filled it up twice already with gas. Both times came out 23.5 miles to the gallon. So for this size of SUV, the V6 in it's probably the reason it's good gas mileage, but for this size of vehicle, all-wheel drive, we'll take it. To us, that's doing pretty darn good compared to those diesel trucks. So that's going to be its purpose. The kid's probably going to take it for a little while to run. He's still running Wyoming for school, down to Colorado for work over the weekend, so he needs something. Right now we're going to drop her back down, throw in our friendly Napa Gold air filter right there. And of course, no service is complete without a liquid tune-up, so that's going to go in back there. And I still got to dump some oil in it, but I'm going to go ahead and just finish that up. So this is the end of the video. If you're still here, I surely do appreciate you hanging out the whole time. You know, for me, it's something to do, and there's always something to do. So, appreciate you hanging out. If you liked it, let me know. If there was something that you noticed I did wrong or didn't notice or didn't mention or this or that or whatever, leave me them comments down there. I surely do appreciate it. Outside of that, you guys know what to do. If you want to hang around and see what we're throwing out there, you know how to do that. So, without further ado, I'm going to finish this up and y'all have a great day, okay? Thanks for hanging out. Oh, I'll catch you next time.